Is XRP the real Ethereum killer? You guys let me know in the comments down below, but in this video, we're going to be discussing the most recent proposal for smart contracts coming to the XRP ledger, and I am very excited about this one. I've already been talking about how XRP DeFi was going to explode in 2025, and this is only going to fuel that even further. This is just reiterating the point that I've been trying to get across. We don't need full-blown smart contracts to have real functionality, programmability, to basically be able to achieve what we want to do from a business perspective on the XRP ledger. So I'm going to put this video together for you guys here today to explain what this proposal is about. This process has been thoroughly vetted, considered, and discussed, and this is going to be an ongoing process. I'm going to lay out the timeline that they have proposed for this going live. It still is going to be a ways out here, but what I love about the XRP ledger is that we're making sure that we stay lean and mean, efficient for payments. And then we're going to be addressing the programmability, expanding that functionality, and the XRP ledger is going to be perfectly set up for institutional DeFi as regulations get passed this year and institutions not just want to dip the toes in the water, but want to dive head in. And I think they're going to be choosing the XRP ledger. And we already know they are, as a matter of fact. This is Cassie Craddock, Managing Director at Ripple. And the reason why I'm playing this clip here is because she's going to explain how, from a custody perspective, from a payment perspective, Ripple's already working and focusing on banks and institutions. But on the Ripple X side, their clients are businesses that they're investing in and helping to fund, that with these additional smart contract functionality, programmability, they're going to be able to do a lot of interesting things on the XRP ledger. Take a listen in on this one.
Of course, we predominantly service financial institutions. So from a custody perspective, our product market fit is very much in kind of your tier one banks. So we've got partners like HSBC that leverage our custody platform. But we do see, different audience sets. So on the Ripple X side, for example, we know that this kind of convergence of kind of more general, but Ripple is this institutional DeFi approach. And so, from a Ripple X perspective, which is really focused on driving the developer ecosystem around the XRP ledger, we're leaning into funding really interesting companies within that space. And we're seeing really exciting early stage companies building on the XRP ledger within lending, payments, use cases, for example.
And see, now we're going to be able to do a whole lot more. We just got NFTs, AMM, we were late to it all. Now we're starting to get credentials, lending, as she mentioned. These are big features that are being added to the XRP ledger. But what's coming next is these smart contracts, and these smart features is what they're calling them, is basically just putting extensions on top of the already existing features that we have and that are working so well. So we're going to be talking about that here more in a second. Real briefly, I want to highlight an amendment that was put forward here just today. This is by Chris. He's an XRP ledger consultant, developer, and advisor. Huge shout out to Chris. Very, very great developer in our ecosystem. He put together a little space here, but this is his proposal, XLS 91, for a beneficiary, an inheritance solution for the XRP ledger. That's what this is right here. So I'm going to read this off just very briefly. The need for a secure and reliable inheritance mechanism on the XRP ledger has been a recurring topic within the community. In the event of an account holder's death, without access to the private key, the assets in the account are effectively lost forever, causing significant concern for users who want to ensure their digital assets are passed on to their beneficiaries. I don't know about you, but this XRP investment is about generational wealth for me. Existing solutions like sharing private keys with executors or family members pose significant security risks and are often impractical due to trust issues and/or technical limitations. This proposal aims to introduce a simple, secure, and user-friendly inheritance mechanism on the XRP ledger by leveraging new transaction types and modifications to the account root ledger entry. This mechanism allows account holders to set a beneficiary who can claim access to the account after a specified period of inactivity, ensuring assets can be passed on without compromising the account's security during the holder's lifetime. So with this amendment, all they are doing is adding two new transaction types, set beneficiary and invoke beneficiary, while adding an extension to the account root ledger entry. And we'll be talking about the extensions more when we talk about the smart contracts as well, because that's what they're calling them. So another important amendment being put forward here by Chris for a beneficiary and inheritance solution for the XRP ledger. I know many of us, this is all about generational wealth, about building something for our children and our future and being able to just protect these assets, right? But there's just a lot of amendments and functionality being added to the XRP ledger already. And now we get the big announcement of smart contracts and smart escrow coming. Here's Vet. Can't believe we get to say this. The XRP ledger smart contracts and smart escrow proposal just dropped. Massive step for the XRP ledger and the XRP community. It starts with the introduction of extensions, basically powered up native features with that extra mile in business logic. Now, this is put forward here by Mayuka Vadari. She is senior software engineer at RippleX, working on interoperability, coming from MIT, another big hitter in the arena of development and engineering here. Mayuka working on this one with the Ripple team and other XRP ledger developers. So let's go through this. Excited to share the RippleX extensibility team's proposed vision for XRP ledger programmability. Today's announcement includes a blog post detailing our vision and 2 specs. We, the RX extensibility team, that's RippleX extensibility team, envision programmability on the XRP ledger as the glue that seamlessly connects its powerful native building blocks with the flexibility of custom on-chain business logic. This vision focuses on preserving what makes the XRP ledger special, its efficiency, reliability, and simplicity, while empowering builders to unlock new possibilities. Instead of diving headfirst into a complex smart contract proposal or protocol spec, we want to take baby steps, as Joel Katz, that's David Schwartz, puts it. The first initiative, extensions or smart features. An extension is a small piece of code attached to an XRP ledger building block, which allows users to add some custom logic to the existing primitives. So this is basically what Chris was working on with the beneficiary inheritance solution, right? They're adding an extension onto that ledger input or whatever that was, right? This can be very useful for projects that like the existing features of the XRP ledger, but need a minor modification to a feature to be able to use it. Feature plus extension equals smart feature. One of the XRP ledger's biggest strengths lies in its foundational building blocks. Primitives like token, escrows, and the DEX, which offer secure, robust, and native functionality. So this is the type of programmability that we already have. Now we're just building on top of it. Smart features allows us to lean into these strengths by enhancing what already exists, rather than replacing it. By leveraging the existing toolkit of the XRP ledger, we can unlock powerful new capabilities while maintaining the simplicity and efficiency the network is known for. That's what I love to hear. We don't see smart features and smart contracts as mutually exclusive. Therefore, we've also published a smart contract spec outlining our ideas for how we bring the smart contracts that everybody knows and loves to the XRP ledger in a way that makes sense for how the XRP ledger is designed. Starting with the smart escrows instead of going straight to smart contracts allows us to test out the VM, which is virtual machine integration, with a much smaller feature so that it's easier to protect against unforeseen errors, and any issues will be much smaller and more limited. Community feedback is welcome. This is, developers across a broad variety of projects have shared valuable insights that have helped refine this approach to XRP ledger programmability. This collaborative process continues as we all work together to create the best path forward. And so you can reach out to Mayuka if you want to, be involved in that process. I'm going to switch over here to the blog post, but first I'm going to show you that this process and this research really began last year. This has been worked on for a while now. And so this is the blog post explaining the survey of virtual machines for the XRP ledger programmability. So they've already been working on this, okay? And basically what this blog post outlines is the research that they did looking at all the various virtual machines to consider. That includes Hooks, which is a how. That's the fork of the XRP ledger that was created by some XRP ledger developers. So that's already in production and live right now. They also looked at Stellar, Sorobon smart contracts, Ethereum, that's the EVM, Solana, Aptos, Sui, Move, Ton, Near, BitVM, RiskV, and L2 sidechains. And basically they came to the conclusion after going through all of these, there's only a few that made the cut. And that was, let me find it, down here, phase 1 conclusion. was that Hooks, Ethereum, Aptos, and Near would be able to proceed. And what they ended up settling on was WASM, okay, which is WebAssembly. Okay, so WebAssembly is what they've ended up settling on here. And I'm not going to get too lost in the sauce on all the technicalities of this. I'm just showing you guys that they, took some considerable time going through this and considering all of the other smart contracts. And that's what I like about this. We figured out payments, cheap, efficient, scalable payments first in security. And now we get to play around with the programmability. And we get to see what everybody else tried, what didn't work, what was successful. And now we get to basically bolt it on to the XRP ledger in a way that doesn't slow us down at all. So here is the blog post, a proposed vision for XRP ledger programmability. And they go through, she explains how they did a survey of the VM options, the road so far. And here are the main considerations I wanted to read off. As a recap, the team's main considerations for mainnet programmability are permissionless by design, no need for UNL approval for the network to execute user code. So this isn't like an amendment process. Hey, I want to do something on the ledger. I need to pass an amendment to get it done. No, this allows you to just build basically on top of the existing feature on the XRP ledger without having to get any approval. So it's completely permissionless, completely decentralized. Meshes well with the XRP ledger in both design and implementation. Easy access to native features, primitives to build on the XRP ledger's powerful building blocks. Easy for new developers to learn familiar design paradigms. Minimal impact on existing XRP ledger users and use cases, especially regarding payments, performance, and security. None of that will be at risk. Minimal impact to node validator costs, so it's not going to be more costly on our validators or infrastructure providers. The initiative's anti-objectives are being exactly the same as some existing design at the expense of what is best for the XRP ledger, replacing the XRP ledger's existing building blocks with smart contracts. Its primitives are a key selling point. Basically, we don't want to recreate the whole ledger here. A modification to the consensus protocol that would pay validators out of scope. There's no part of that. So what I'm going to be calling this is smart contracts light, right? This is not full-blown smart contracts where you can really, kind of change and rewrite the ledger. This is just bolt-on extensions, bolt-on features and modifications to existing programmability that we already have. So it doesn't risk the ledger at all. What is an extension? An extension is a small piece of code attached to the XRP ledger building block, which allows users to add some custom logic to existing primitives. Extensions can be very useful for projects that like the existing features of the XRP ledger, but need a minor modification to a feature to be able to use it. Feature plus extension equals smart feature. A feature with an extension attached will be more efficient, already mostly audited, and easier to use than reinventing the wheel with a completely separate smart contract. So that's why we're not doing the smart contracts. We already have the features, add on the extension, you're in business right away. No reason to play around with it. Okay. Why smart features? Well, because we already have such a solid XRP ledger with a DEX built in. Tokens, escrow, and the DEX offer secure, robust, native functionality. Smart features allows us to lean into those strengths by enhancing what already exists rather than replacing it. It's very simple. I want to skip on down to the timeline because I think this is important. In Q1, we're going to get early DevNet for smart escrows. Next, we'll get full functional smart escrow DevNet in Q2. Then in Q3 of this year, we will release smart escrows and an amendment for voting. So that's when it'll be ready to go, start to get going live. And then smart contract DevNet will start Q4. But they explain starting with smart escrows instead of going to, straight to smart contracts allows us to test out virtual machine integration with a much smaller feature so that it's much easier to protect against unforeseen errors and any issues will be much smaller and more limited. If you're interested in contributing to this development process, please reach out. The summary of this, guys, is that the XRP ledger has already been proven for cheap, efficient, and scalable payments. That's what we needed to get done first. Now we have NFTs, we have AMM, we're getting credentials, we're getting basically on-chain KYC through DID. These are amendments that we already have, by the way. Next, we're looking at on-chain lending, additional features being added like beneficiaries. There's many other amendments that are in the works right now as well too. But what this smart contracts proposal right here is doing is just allowing us to bolt on to the existing frame. That's what this is. We already have great features. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. This is basically just allowing us to put a better wheel on the car. That's all this is, without weighing it down, without, basically putting any part of the ledger at risk, any existing users, any of the existing infrastructure. This is a bolt-on solution for the XRP ledger. But I do want to end on a positive note, which is the fact that we got DeFi that's exploding on the XRP ledger right now. The TVL on the XRP ledger is already reaching up towards 100 million. We'll be passing through 1 billion before long, with real-world assets getting tokenized on the ledger. And then, as I pointed out in the very beginning, Ripple's already working with the banks and institutions. Now they've got them on board, and then they'll be able to showcase the smart contract functionality on the XRP ledger as well, so that it won't be a need to really be on Ethereum or some of these other chains when you can literally do everything on the XRP ledger. You can tokenize whatever you want. You have the best source of liquidity, and that's the main selling proposition of the XRP ledger. But then I'm thinking that these straightforward smart features and extensions are just going to be so safe and secure. I mean, this is what the whole Bybit hack was about, was a smart contract on Ethereum that was a malicious transaction masked as a real one. How do you get away from that? I mean, I don't know if this is the foolproof method. I'll let the developers do their thing, but it's looking like the XRP ledger is going to remain just as safe and secure and robust as ever, scaling up for payments as much as we need, while having the additional functionality and programmability to do any sort of business logic on the ledger that you would need. It suffices to say, I'm very bullish on XRP right now, guys. Despite all this market craziness, all of that to distract us, the fundamentals behind XRP ledger just continue to get better and better every single day. You guys let me know in the comments down below what you think. I'm going to wrap this one up here. If you could smack it on the way out, I'd greatly appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one. God bless. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.